Alright guys, let me tell you about a moment on The View that had everyone's jaws dropping. Seriously, the drama was off the charts. We have Sunny Hostin, one of the hosts, who tends to steer conversations in a certain, predictable direction. You know what I mean, right? And then there's Hollywood's very own Dee Williams, the suave icon himself. So, what went down? Well, it was a masterclass in composure and class from Billy, and it caught everyone on The View completely off guard. So picture this. The show rolls in with its usual hype, and Sunny dives straight into conversation. Although she's respectful and politely introduces herself, you can tell she's ready to go for what she's known for. "So honored to meet you," she gushes, and she's just getting started.
So honored to meet you. I will be honest, I'm just looking at Lando Calrissian in my mind, and Lady Sings the Blues and Mahogany, and just, right? That's all just incredible. So you did start, as Whoopi said, in the industry at a time when few people of color were on TV and in movies and
Her line of questioning leads her to ask Billy about being a pioneer as a man of color in the industry, highlighting his career's early days when opportunities were, well, let's say sparse. But then, something curious happened. Dee Williams, with his signature suave persona, turned that moment around with a phrase so simple yet so powerful that it left the room silent. "Well," he said, "everybody's a people of color, aren't they?" And you could feel Sunny's carefully set narrative start to unravel. It was one of those, wait, what just happened at moments. Now, I can only imagine the gears turning in Sunny's head because that response wasn't what she had expected. She attempts to recover by asking Billy about the struggles one might face in Hollywood through the lens of his racial identity. But, yet again, Billy stays grounded. "I don't know," he responds. "You just live moment to moment and do what you have to do."
Early on, you struggled to find work, being offered either stereotypical roles or nothing at all. And you write about it sending you into a depression. Did you ever think about quitting? And if you didn't, what kept you going?
Well, I don't know. You just live from moment to moment and do what you have to do and expect things to not always go your way.
Yeah.
And you just find the ways to be innovative. And you find ways to counter whatever you're up against and move forward.
And like you said before, that little boy got the bug.
Yeah.
And then there was no stopping him.
What an elegant refusal to be boxed in. He focused on perseverance and innovation instead, steering the conversation towards maintaining authenticity and not succumbing to victimhood, thereby opening a refreshing dialogue. You see, guys, this is classic Billy Dee. He's all about transcending the narrative and keeping the conversation real and inclusive, which, to be honest, might be a little out of the usual comfort zone for the hosts of The View. His emphasis was on moving forward, finding ways to counter challenges, and not getting stuck in any singular perspective. "You invent, you create," he said, which is such a powerful message. And just when you think the conversation couldn't take a more fascinating turn, Billy shared his insights on masculinity, gender, and identity. He talked about his admiration for Carl Jung's theories, specifically the concepts around gender fluidity and identity.
Early on, you struggled to find work, being offered either stereotypical roles or nothing at all. And you write about it sending you into a depression. Did you ever think about quitting? And if you didn't, what kept you going?
Well, I don't know. You just live from moment to moment and do what you have to do and expect things to not always go your way.
Yeah.
And you just find the ways to be innovative. And you find ways to counter whatever you're up against and move forward. You invent, you create.
Go along, yeah.
You become part of the science of the universe.
Well, and you also get some pretty great opportunities. In 1971, you got a big break starring...
Now, try to picture the surprise on everyone's faces when he starts delving into psychological theory and intellectual discourse. Sunny and the others were visibly coming to grips with the unexpected depth of the conversation. One of the more striking parts was when Billy touched upon Jung's concept of the anima and animus, which brought a nuanced understanding of gender fluidity to the forefront. It wasn't just about men being allowed to express certain emotions, but about everyone understanding the balance within themselves. How many daytime shows get into such deep stuff, right? And when asked, he mentioned how a certain phrase piqued his daughter's interest: gender fluidity. His casual drop of a line his daughter, who's identified as quite liberal, found exciting probably added a whole new layer of impact to the conversation, despite leaving the hosts bemused. Sunny, still trying to regain a foothold in the discussion, decided to steer things towards socioeconomic issues. Here, she probably hoped to highlight racial disparities once again. But Billy, undeterred, pointed out that it's often class and opportunity that play a larger, more pivotal role than skin color alone in shaping an individual's achievements and challenges.
Socioeconomics picks out people in a better way than race. When you do look at the socioeconomics, you see the huge disparity between white households and black households. You see the huge disparity between white households and Hispanic households. So your argument, and I've read your book twice because I wanted to give it a chance, your argument that race has no place in that equation is really fundamentally flawed.
It was, I guess, a revelation of sorts to the audience and the hosts who weren't expecting this angle. His comments prompted Sunny to double down, contesting that his perspective overlooked significant racial disparities. Your argument that race has no place in that equation is really fundamentally flawed, she said, citing statistical disparities among races in the US. Billy, cool as ever, simply smiled, embodying the phrase, "the calm before the storm."
Well, I mean, it was, when I got to when I was told his name was Calrissian,
Yes.
I thought that was very interesting. It's an Armenian name. So I played around with that whole perspective.
Yeah.
And then when I got the cape, of course, that was, Errol Flynn time. So I had a lot of fun with it, creating that.
He didn't budge. The underlying message was clear. Focus on unity, perseverance, and personal growth above divisive narratives. Yes, his calm response served as a stark contrast to the usually heated rhetoric. And then there was the laughter. One of the hosts, maybe trying to lighten the moment, compared it to a villain's cackle, a nervous laughter. Yet amidst this, Billy's demeanor remained unshakable. Ultimately, the segment wrapped up with Sunny visibly frustrated, willing her position to remain center stage. The remarkable thing is how Billy Dee, with just a few thoughtful words, managed to infuse a discussion with dignity and class, presenting a perspective often missing from mainstream media. It was humility meeting wisdom. Now, stepping back, what do we take away from all this? It's a reminder of the timeless truth that staying true to oneself and focusing on real, individual efforts can elevate a dialogue beyond trivial disagreements or narrow perceptions. So guys, I'm curious, what do you think? Do you believe Sunny was out of line, or was Billy Dee's handling of the conversation just a breath of fresh air? Let us know what you think down in the comments. Your opinions are what make these conversations meaningful, and we'd love to hear your take on this unforgettable exchange on The View.